Thank you for joining us. This is, of course, the 2024 Pineapple Support Mental Health Summit. It's our fifth year doing this. We are so delighted to be bringing you a series that hones in on all the many relationship dynamics that exist for those of us that make a living in the adult industry. We started with romantic relationships on day one. Day two was about family relationships. Day three was about professional and work relationships. And today, our final day, day four, we are discussing the relationship to self. It's been enlightening to receive all of the commentary from audiences in our chat throughout this summit. I'm so delighted to see how enthusiastic you are about getting involved in finding new pathways for bettering mental health and solidifying those connections that truly are valuable in our lives. My name's Laura Desiree. I'm the host of your 2024 summit. It's a great honor to be here with all of you. We have an incredible lineup of panelists for today's discussion. So, audience, while you are listening to everyone's stories that they're going to be sharing and their wisdom and their advice and their lived experiences, we are going to hold all of this information with so much respect, so much compassion, and above all else, with a curiosity that feels confident enough to share commentary in the chat and to put forth questions that we may have along the way. This is the time to seize an opportunity like this. So let's start revealing some of these panelists. What I will do is I'm going to ask each panelist to answer three things. You ready? How long have you been in the business? What would you say you do in the business? Performer, producer, content creator, entrepreneur, business owner? What is the title that you work within? And lastly, a fun one. If you were a vacation, what kind of vacation would you be? I'm going to give you my example. I would say that Laura Desiree is the kind of vacation where you find yourself touring museums because it's constant facts, an annoying amount of stimulation. And I do love history and pop culture. So that would be the vacation that I am. Before I get to our first reveal, of course, we have sponsors to thank. These folks keep it possible to provide this summit to all of you. I want to thank our sponsors for the 2024 summit. We have Pornhub, C4S, Strip Chat, Cam4, F2F, Feet Fix, Fan Shop, and Feel Hub X. Thank you for all that you do to make this possible. So I hope you know those three questions that I have in mind. April Flores, you are first up to the spotlight, my friend. You are muted, love.
Sorry. Hi, Laura, and thank you so much, Pineapple Support, for having me. I was just saying that I was thinking in my head, don't be first, don't be first, don't be first, but here I am. Okay, so first, I'm April Flores. The word that I use, the term that I just use sex worker as this umbrella term, depending who I'm talking to. If it's a random stranger, they don't need to know all my business, so I do say intimacy coordinator, which is more, it's like a less stigmatized job for someone that I'm just meeting very casually. But if it's someone that I feel safe to disclose my work to, I do use sex worker. What was the second question? I forgot the second.
How long have you been in the business?
19 years. I just celebrated my 19-year porniversary in October. So yeah, it's a long time. And vacation, I remember that. Vacation would be somewhere tropical, sand, water, sun beating down on you, or you feel like your skin just like reflecting the sun and just baking, cocktails or mocktails. I don't drink, but I'll take a mocktail, snacks, luxury, walking in the sand, just all of it and more, and pleasure and fun and relaxation. That's I think what I would be. And then when you emerge from that, you are healed and reinvigorated, re-energized.
That's exactly how I feel when I'm with you, April. How apt. Words right out of my mouth. I love it. Thank you for being here with us. This is going to be a fabulous affair. Sir Peter. Oh, it's so good to have you here. If you would give us your intro. Sir Peter. Are you with us, Sir Peter? We'll return to Sir Peter. Natassia, where are you, my love? I know you're in the room as well. Please do let us know how long you've been in the biz, what you do in the biz, and what vacation you are.
Hi, can you hear me? Okay, so I'm Natassia Dreams. I've been in the industry now for 20 years. Um, I would, I just, yeah, I celebrated my 20 years as well. I would say myself as a vacation, I would say I would be like an a vacation to Hawaii, okay? The reason why I say that because there's going to be some lava, you're going to have to crawl up some mountains, but when you get to the top, like it will be so worth it. Like the sights, the exhilaration, the feelings, and then you're in a magical place. But like you have to put a little bit of work. It's a little bit risky at times, but the benefits reap everything that you have to go through. I would say that about me.
And from New York City, it's about a 13-hour flight, so you definitely make us work for that good time, don't you?
Exactly, exactly. Don't come easy over here, baby.
I love it. Thank you for being here. Sir Peter, I saw you pop in and it made my heart swell.
I'm here. I'm sorry. How are you? How's everybody? So I'm Phil Peter. I've been in the industry on February 14, 5 years only. And what I would describe what I do, I'm a businessman who specializes in sex. That's what I would say. And my vacation at this moment of my life, I won't be anywhere with my phone. I don't want my phone around me or any where I go, magic better with a place warm, but no phone because
I agree. We're in an age of tech overload. It's so nice to have a break from that sometimes, once you get past the paranoia of being without technology. Thanks for being here. We do, of course, have the return of our two presenters, and I would love for them as well to give us their individual introductions. So, Tanisha, could you please have a hello and have that little fun answer for us as well?
All right, here we go. So I am Tanisha McCrae, the CEO of Orange Oasis Healing. If I was a vacation, now this is going to be how psychotic I am. It's four vacations in one. You're going to experience the icy cold, snow-capped mountains, and you're just going to stand there in your fur and take in that freezing of your body. And then you will be drifted off into the warm sands of a great beach. I'm going with April. Wherever she's at, I want to go where she's at. Okay. You get just and energized and everything. And Sasha, you said you're going to be in the volcano. Yes, that lava, work hard. That's why I told you this vacation is very psychotic. You don't know where you're going to end up at. It's all based on your feelings. It's feelings based where you're going to be at. And the fourth, I'm going to be without technology, Sir Peter, because I hate technology. I don't know how to work it. And that's just in this weird place. You're just in this box, kind of chilling, looking around. You don't know what's going to happen. But then you finally get relaxed because you're like, I don't need to worry about anything. And you're just chilling out. That's my weird vacation.
You started with this observation of the majesty of the natural world, and I think that's a great place, right? To feel that about yourself, that is so ideal, and I love it. Doc, you are the last one to come on in and join this party. Let us know your answers.
Hey, hey. So my name is Dr. L.A. McCrae. Most folks just call me Doc. I'm the Chief Clinical Officer and Therapist here at Orange Oasis Healing. And if I'm a vacation, I'm taking y'all to Prague. So we're going to do all the things in Prague that we can only do in Prague, which I know my other panelists know what I'm talking about. And in this vacation, I would also represent the Clementium in Prague, which is one of the oldest libraries with its Baroque halls and mysteries and winding staircases and all of the things. And there would be certain pieces of this vacation that are just so fragile that you can't even touch them because they hold so much deep history.
Romance overload. I love it. I feel that. That's one of those epically romantic trips. Ideal as well. Perfect. Everyone, this is going to be a wonderful hour together. It might just go over a little bit of an hour. And if anyone does need to depart right at the end of 60 minutes, I completely understand. You can say a farewell in the chat. But if we go over just to address any audience questions, let's just let that happen. Let's see how that feels and fits at the time. So today we're talking about the relationship to self, quite a sacred one and a crucial one. In the adult industry, I know that I brought up in the chat the idea of stigma. It's not even an idea, it is a reality, okay? This is something that we live within in our modern world. And so, how do we equip ourselves to be as strong, as compassionate, caring, and protective of our well being as possible? We're going to hear from everyone today through a series of questions that I've prepared. So, panelists, if a story comes to you that fits to give a case study or give an example, please do. And I'm going to try not to step in on anyone's commentary. However, I want to be mindful of time, so I hope that we can all be mindful of time and ensure that everyone's getting their chance to answer these questions to completion. So let's get it going here. Our very first one is going to be, how has working in the adult industry shaped your self-perception and the way you see your body? Okay, it's a body job. We work physically. We're on display quite publicly. So I want to know how it's shaped your relationship to self-perception and body. And I'm going to start. Let's start with Natassia.
I'm so happy to start with this topic. This topic, I don't know if you guys can hear me. This topic means a lot to me because as a person of trans experience, I was always taught like my body was of service to other people, and that's how I like associated my body with, like, it was something that I could use to, survive and get me ahead and get to all of these amazing things. But it also caused me to have some resentment to my body because before I had my gender confirmation surgery, I didn't really recognize with my body and I didn't really feel that comfortable. But I will say that with that being said, being in the sex industry and having these experiences where I can experiment sexually in a safe space and I with professional people, it really helped me to gain a kind of loving more for my body throughout the years. And it wasn't until like I had my confirmation surgery that then I finally felt complete in my body. But what I would do meanwhile, of course, it was like, with the gender dysphoria, and I had to seek out mental health services because at the end of the journey, it got really taxing to me. And the disassociation was very deep, and I couldn't really grasp my head around it and separate the two. And I, like you said, I kind of got lost in the whole, like the women said before, I got lost in this whole like facade that I had to put up. Like, I'm a trans woman and I'm Black and I have to be so dominant in the bedroom and I have to just fuck every guy and girl that comes in my way. And I kind of got lost in that, and I'm not gonna lie, I did get lost in that, and I had like, some mental breakdowns because of that, because I was forcing myself, I was pushing myself to be something that I wasn't, to fulfill a fantasy for somebody else. And it wasn't until I hit rock bottom and I had to start looking at myself and say, hey, like, okay, this is not right. I don't feel comfortable doing this. And I had to put my boundaries up and I had to put my foot down and fight against producers and fight against companies and say, hey, you know what? Like, as a trans woman, I've been forced to do this for like the past 15 years of my career, and enough is enough. Like, we're women. We want to be portrayed as women. We're sexual. We're sensual. We don't want to become off of these hard, crass creatures that like hide in the dark and want to like fuck you in your ass when you're sleeping. Like that's not what the image that we as trans women want to portray. Yes, there's shapes and sizes for all sexualities and categories, but let's not pigeonhole us into that stereotype of this certain type of thing, which I literally got lost in it. And so it wasn't until like I sought out mental health and I started to experiment sexually and feel more open with my body and feel more accepted as the industry got a little bit more accepted, then I became more acceptive to my body and I can see that it wasn't, as weird as I thought it was. And luckily I was embraced by my performers and my industry. And that's what helped me, to be honest, because like I did really almost get lost. I was this close.
What's so powerful about what you just shared with us is the fact that you found yourself lost in an industry, which is so real and it happens. And it wasn't a departure from the industry that needed to happen. For some, it is. But you found a triumph while existing and advocating for yourself and insisting upon those changes. It's incredible. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm gonna move to April. Please do let us know about the journey of self-perception and relationship to body.
Okay, thank you. So when I entered the industry, I was already, I'm a fat person. I don't know if you could tell, like, let me show you my arms. Um, I entered the industry already comfortable in my body, being a fat person. So I feel like that was already an important place to be. I think that I wrote my answer down, so I'm going to be like kind of reading and speaking. So in my opinion, being comfortable in your body is necessary for someone whose job it is to perform sex. And especially nowadays, I think that being okay, let me get it straight. Okay. I think that now I entered 19 years ago when the whole model was completely different. We would get hired, we would show I would get hired, I would show up, fuck, get my check, the actual paper check, and leave, and go get like eat a burger. But now, like as we know, everyone watching who's a creator, we don't do that, right? We think of the idea, we set up the room, we set up the camera, we cast, we do all of the things. And I think that there is beauty, autonomy, power in that new structure. And at the same time, it's a lot of viewing yourself, it's a lot of perceiving yourself, it's a lot of like, how am I going to present myself to be perceived, to pay my rent? So yeah, I think that a necessary basic thing for longevity is to be comfortable in your body, in your skin. Um, I'm having challenges right now as I age. Like that is really fucking with me because I entered at 29 and now I'm 48 and shit changes, right? Like my body's kind of the same. I've always been like, between like 15, 20 pounds, but like bags and wrinkles and like my neck, like everyone listening, moisturize your neck right now. So yeah, so that's hard and I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. Like all of us in society were taught that women should never age. So it's hard to walk that line of like, okay, I need Botox and I have fillers and whatever, but also like I should age gracefully. I don't know. That's challenging. So the aging part, I'm still trying to like understand. But I also see adult performers as athletes, right? We use our bodies as tools to entertain, earn income, fulfill people's fantasies, which I feel very privileged to hold that, like fulfilling people's fantasies. We also use our work as a form of self-expression and our bodies as a form of self-expression. So I'm definitely in tune with my body, acknowledging small changes. If we do partnered scenes, for me, my biochemistry or my biosphere, whatever it is very sensitive. So when I have a new partner, like I'm like, oh, I feel a little something. So I'll take a pill or whatever. So I think that performers and sex workers were very in tune with the small changes. We're like, oh, that's an itch. That must be this. Let me take that. And yeah, so that's my answer.
You know, April, right at the top of this, you said something so beautiful that you came into this industry already having a strong confidence, sense of self, and self-love and acceptance. So I think what I'm gathering is this might be the key to having a successful career or a healthy one if you can establish this early on.
Yeah, it's a very privileged way to enter. And I think, especially for longevity, I think that people, especially now that sex work is so prevalent in society, as part of the zeitgeist, I think that people see it as a way to make easy money, fast, easy money. And that part can be true. But also, you have to be very, very, I don't know if strong is the word, balance. I don't know what the word is, maybe strong sense of self to have the longevity to meet the challenges that arise.
Because they do. Yeah, thank you for that. Sir Peter, talk to us about relationship to body working in this job.
All right. So when I started, actually, coming from the perspective of men, usually you don't think that men actually have these issues, all these body issues, and you think because you're just a man, you're just doing that, you don't go through all of these emotions and feelings. And that's one thing that I've learned. Like when I started it because I actually needed it. Never motivational because I think I will have what it takes. But natural to become in front of the camera, it was natural. I never saw any of my videos when I started it, and I never had this thing about um, I don't look that good or I look bad or better than the other. It was more of the industry, I think, putting or at the time, still 5 years ago, was not that much, but having these standard types of male models that should look like. So for me, later was my journey of self-acceptance and self-discover of the person that I am. That was always more. Um, I have more certainty about that than just the way I look. So I think when you come with a place of knowing that your work is your work and not doing because you need fame, because I think everybody can be famous for a million type of reasons without taking the clothes off. So I think that by nature is one of the stigmas that we face. But honestly, I learned how to love myself even more, and that gave me the strength to just as well to advocate with um, about the what I'm doing and what I'm feeling. I think that's important to share because if I have a bad feeling or on set or in my personal life or my relationships, if I don't address it at the moment, it will become a snowball effect because you're going to just keep on taking it until the point you're just going to have a meltdown and you're going to go crazy. And I say crazy not in a bad way, but in the way that you just need to let it out. And something you don't feel that is right, if something doesn't feel that is um, representative of you and the performance that you work with or not, you can choose. But at the end of the day, I love the person that I become because of my work. And I didn't know if I actually did what I'm doing now, I would get to that moment.
Thank you for that. It's a job where we are truly laid bare uh, for visibility by all. And you may not enter it expecting the kinds of psychological torment that it can bring. Now at 35, I still, in a low moment, hear the haunting voice of a producer I had on Naked News that would send me screenshots from our butt cam, and it would be of my butt. And I would get an email saying, "Can we do something about this?" I would get an email saying, "Don't ever wear these panties again because they do nothing for you." And it's that kind of ongoing exposure to critique, to criticism, to improve yourself, fit more into a mold, that you have to be resilient against, towards. You have to really develop that sense of self that's going to be immune to that kind of bullying and that kind of attitude. So I want to ask Doc and Tanisha, how might you advise folks to best equip themselves with this relationship to body as they're entering a job or existing in a job that is so much about body?
Didn't know who you wanted to go first. But just going back to one of the statements that I made, that, your job is what you do. Honing into who you are and building up that muscle of who you are and having self-esteem and that resiliency within yourself, building it up. Like, they're going to critique me. Why? Because, sorry, they're men. They're going to do that because it's a lot of men that, that's going to do the producers and the directors and all the different things, your co-stars, whoever it is, whatever's going on. But building up your muscle, of your self-esteem and building who you are, getting that life nourishing, life affirming, things every day. And it's going to take that every day, because this is something that is going to continuously happen. I can't say, oh, in 5 years, no one's going to care. Lies. They're going to care every day. Oh, your hair's too short. It's too dark. Your body's too small. You don't have enough here and have enough there. You really have to hone into yourself and really just build yourself up. And so if I was advising, we would talk about self-worth and what does that mean? How does your job compare to who you are? Again, going back to your own mission statement, your values, your vision for who you are, and not what they are going to say you are. So building that up, that's what I would do if I had somebody as a client.
Thank you so much, Doc. Anything to add?
Yeah, I think this really goes down to, being a person who's non-binary, androgynous, queer, trans, daily living through those waters of poly stigmatization and being cognizant and aware of it so that it does not become poly traumatization. So being very clear with folks, as they're providing this input, hey, you don't have the permission to say those things about me or about anyone like me. Being completely unapologetic and really standing your ground. Like, I hear that's how you feel. I hear what you're saying, what have you. That does not resonate with the experience of who I know myself to be, nor my calling on this planet. Right. So you don't have the permission to talk to me about that, period.
You've continued to elevate us with these words. Thank you. Thank you. And this leads perfectly into this next question for everyone. We saw some great examples of ways to bring daily practice of self-love and self-care into our day-to-day lives. I would love to know from these panelists what your unique daily practice actually looks like. Is there something that may be deemed unconventional, some ritual that you've brought into your life that is there to nourish that self-love? I'm going to start with April.
Okay, I just want to say something real quick. I didn't know these words, polystigmatization, polytraumatization. I wrote them down. And now next time I meet someone who's poly, I'm gonna be like, I'm poly too, polytraumatized. Anyway, sorry. Totally side note. So sorry. Okay, so I used to hate when people would say meditate, meditate. It would be like, oh my gosh, shut the fuck up with this meditation. But it kind of works. um yeah, so this year actually I started meditating, and I reframed it. I'm like, these are daily affirmations. So for me, framing it as an affirmation beyond like, oh, I gotta meditate. Um when so I read something, and I'm gonna read this too. So logging onto social media immediately after waking up. And it's hard because our job requires us, yeah, don't do it. Our job requires us to be on social media, to stay relevant, to promote, to network, just, and also communicate with our friends. But that I used for so long as a justification to, as soon as I'm awake, oh my God, what's on my phone? But that's really damaging. So logging onto social media immediately after waking up can disrupt your brain's natural transition from delta and theta brain waves. Those are associated with deep sleep and relaxation, to alpha brain waves, calm and focus and creativity. Instead of easing into a productive mindset, social media overstimulates your brain with high frequency beta waves, which are linked to stress, overthinking, comparing yourself, all the stuff we don't want. And this can make you feel scattered and reactive rather than calm and intentional. So once I read that, I was like, wait a minute, I'm like waking up, not even like aware, like where am I? I'm just like grabbing my phone, like who said what to me? Who liked my photo? Who viewed my story? Um, that's not good. So now, and it's a practice, right? We call it practice because not every day, like we have to work at it every day. So I kind of fell off in the last few weeks, but I try to wake up and like I like this YouTube. We are so lucky now that we have such so many resources to meditate and to guide us and stuff. So that's what I like to do, is to get off my phone, like immediately, like get on my phone actually, to go to YouTube to find my daily affirmation. And then once then I don't want to, like, then I'm like, let me go to the bathroom, let me like make some breakfast, let me, like, I don't exercise, but so some things you can do instead. You can so I take my time to meditate and set intentions. You can exercise, you can spend time with your family, listen to podcasts or music, appreciate the world around you. Like I try to stay very present at all times, and looking at your schedule, and like making a meal or a cup of coffee for yourself. That's my answer.
So with you on the meditation thing, there was an enormous resistance. Okay. I didn't get it. If anyone else, if you come from former substance abuse, sometimes the idea of just sitting like silently with nothing but your mind is so terrifying that the guided meditations was what got me into it. I needed someone, an accompaniment, a narrator, someone to aid in that, because I was not ready to just sit and be silent. It was too jarring. So like if maybe you're out there watching or listening to this and you're also feeling this aversion to meditation, but maybe it just keeps coming back as an idea, as a suggestion to you, try the guided work. Just try it. There's so many variations available on YouTube. You can start your day with like a 12-minute or a 25-minute, and some of those soundscapes are so wonderful to wake up to. So, April, I share that with you so wholeheartedly. Sir Peter, tell us your self-care, self-love rituals.
So like I have the same problem. Nowadays, I don't know why I'm feeling more guilty because I don't have time to reply to everybody, and that messes up with my personal life and my friends and the relationships I've cultivated every day. So I I uh, I am probably not an overthinker because I've learned that through a friend. That is, there's such a bad thing about being when people say to you, you are an overthinker, but they don't say you are nothing wrong when you are overachievement. When you set up a goal, you achieve it, and you go your way and beyond past that point. How can that be possible if you just reach your goal? That's my question. And then he asked me, and it was like, that's because people don't think. So they wanted to feel bad because you're thinking for the both of them. So that makes you even more for somebody that like me, that always thinking, and I get to the bedtime and it's my time to just chill. But that's when it starts more and more because you just keep going through your day and just coming to you again. So I try to get my phone out of it because that's for me the guilt. And honestly, with you guys, I think the less I cared about how many likes I have, how many people that comment, how many people view everything that I do, that was the most liberated thing to actually have. So I care, I engage more so now with topics that I feel most passionate about. And lately, the last year, it was about men's mental health. I think that's important. We see a lot of people that men usually don't talk about it because we're supposed to be strong and tough. We don't talk about feelings. That's for girls and for the whole thing. But I try to just leave my phone, think about, just breathe. And the most scariest thing I'll ever say to you, when I don't want to think, just want to have a moment of fun and just to, I watch Drag Race and also tell you why. Because I think when you feel like your life is harder, imagine how those people being like first men and trans and binary or non-binary, everything, and still have to put up the stigma with that alone, plus being a drag queen or a performer, it goes with us as well in the way that we do what we do. So I just want to stop beating myself up and saying you're being too hard on yourself. You are doing too little when somebody you're already doing a lot. So I think finding that time for myself to just have a laugh and take my phone away and just go to bed feeling amazing about my day. That's what's actually helped me through it every day.
Drag Race is inspirational. Like straight up, that's inspirational, okay? I look at the passion, the effort, the I don't give a shit about what anyone might say about this presentation. I am wearing it proudly, shoulders back. You know what I mean? Like it's very inspirational, and I think that that's important to feed yourself with media like that and be conscious of it, that this is media that's giving me a positive effect in my body and being. Natassia talked to us about ritual. Oh, Sir Peter, your hand is up.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's just
Are we
to.
high-fiving? Okay. Yeah, okay, we're
Oh,
high-fiving.
yes,
Natassia.
so with that alone, it was amazing. So
So as a as a member of many marginalized communities, it I have like a lot of burden. Well, used to have a lot of burden of how I should show up and how I should act and how I people treat me and how I should talk and how I should feel. And it wasn't until like I got a little bit older, I'm in my mid 40s now, that I was like, I've done all of these things because I'm who I am. It's not because folded to be anybody else. It's not because I, like kiss anyone's ass. Like I put in the work to be here where I'm at now. And it was coming into that realization and also seeking out mental health services, which I have like on a weekly basis, which I couldn't live without. Like between meditation and mental health services like a therapist literally saved my life because I am a person who I'm very intelligent and very creative, and like as Sir Peter says, my mind is always going a million miles a minute. And I love what April said because what she said is true. I'm studying like integrative nutrition health coach classes, and they say that's the worst thing that you can do. And I was a victim of that, like during the pandemic and stuff, and you don't have anything else to do. So you wake up, you don't have any plans, you don't have anything. I would pick up my phone and I would be so shattered by so much news and everything that I saw because I was in a very sensitive state because I'm just waking up. So I had to put into a practice of when I go to bed at 9 p.m., I shut my phone off, I leave it in the other room, I come to my room, I'll read, I'll put the lights down, I do an unwinding so that I don't carry all of that into my bedroom, into my sleep, into my unconsciousness. And then when I wake up, of course, I set my intentions for the day, I say gratitude. I listen to positive affirmations on a daily basis because, as Tanisha and Doc said, this is a daily practice. Like you have attacks coming at you on a daily basis, all day, every day. I'm not sure about any of you, but I can speak for myself. And I need as much reinforcement as I can get. So every morning, I'm with my positive affirmations, I'm with my meditations, I'm doing practices that help me feel like I can take on whatever challenges I'm going to get that day. Every day is different. And, I try to stay consistent because I know that sets myself up for success. And then I can take on whatever. I'll do my workouts, I'll do some yoga. I'll reach out to a friend, that I haven't spoke to and say, hey, good morning. Like, how have you been? Like, how did you sleep? Like, do a check-in to exchange a little joy in the morning, you know, a little laugh, a little, I love to see people's faces when they're so vulnerable and they don't have the whole day on top of them. And I feel like that's when you can be the most present with someone and have a communication, like a deep communication. And one thing I do is now I don't really care what anybody thinks about me. And I used to form my life about that, of what everyone would think about me and what were their opinions. And I had to stop doing that because the only one that was suffering at the end of the night was me.
Yeah. Yeah. Those ideas for affirmations, the idea of flooding your environment with all of that support is so beautiful, and it makes such a huge effect when you do that, when you surround your environment and your atmosphere with everything geared towards building that love in you. It is profound. Tanisha, are we missing, or are there some other unconventional ways that we might be able to hearken more love and self-care?
I know for me, my self-care starts at night. My alarm for my sleepies go off at 9 o'clock. It says ding, it has like a 3 bell ring. It says, listen, I don't care what you're doing. Get your ass in the pit if you're not already there, which I'm probably already there, but it's just knowing, okay, now it's time to shut it down. Like Sir Peter said, put the phone up to the side. I unfortunately sleep with my phone underneath my bed because I'm like, one of the kids are going to call. And it's like, it's going to be something really important and I need to pick up the phone. So one, I need to stop doing that. Thank you, Sir Peter. But you know, it starts the night before, and then in the morning for me, what does make me feel really good is I turn towards, you know, my partner, and it's like, I love you today. Because that's all I have right now. I don't have tomorrow. I don't have yesterday. All I have is today. And what I can do for myself, like love him today, but also like for myself, know that that love is going to be reciprocated today. I'm going to get from my core, my base, that love. And then also cussing really bad in the morning. Just get the shits out. Like, it's like, let me just get it going. I'm like, yeah, revved up. Fuck this shit. Like, I have to do that. Like, you gonna fuck it up. Like, to get me hype. I have to do it. I'm sorry.
So valid. I love it. Doc, please enlighten us with some of your routines.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying if I said like that I had regular routines that I engage in every day. But when I'm at my highest, you know, I'd be running. And I hate running, especially if I have to be running from the police. But that keeps me motivated. So doing some running, pulling some tarot cards, and things that I do daily. Like I have at my desk my crystals, right? So being intentional on picking up crystals to touch, pick up my rose quartz here. Um, Something I do daily is order my Starbucks caramel macchiato every day, every day. That helps me to feel really grounded and like I'm taking care of myself. Doing some journaling. So I have tons of leather notebooks that I'm journaling in, writing things down, setting my intentions, definitely setting my intentions with my wife. Like, what is it that we want to hold for this day? Right? What is it that I want to hold from this day? I have an app on my phone that sends me positive quotes and motivations every 4 hours. And even when I don't feel like opening the app, it gets me every time. Every time. It's like, hey, ho, let me talk to you right now. You need to hear this word because you matter. And I'm like, all right, universe, thank you. Uh, Being sure that I'm in therapy, you know, and just coming back to those three S's. Like, am I solid, stable, secure right now? I don't know. And being able to use that as a touch point with my friends and family. Be like, hey, solid, stable, secure, question mark. And they can heart it, like it, give me a thumbs down. We can do the same. So being able to have those practices in my self-care and wellness toolbox. Now, if I use them all every day, that's a different story. But being sure that I'm putting good solid things in there.
So there's this return to a conversation about the importance of community that's come up a couple times in these answers, community. And really a lot of every one of these sessions that we've had this week, community does come in. So I hope that's a big takeaway for our audience today, the importance of community and ensuring that you're building one that is caring for you, you know, and what does that look like for you? Consider these things. A ritual, I spoke about it yesterday. I'm happy to say it again today. I lip sync for my life every day. Every day. I find 3 minutes, I turn on a powerhouse track, there's nobody else here, and I go so hard with a spatula in my hand or a hairbrush in my hand, and it's a full performance. Natassia, your hand is up, babe.
I just wanted to add as well that one thing that really helps me too is gratitude. Every day when I wake up, as soon as I open my eyes, I say, you know what? I need to put two things that I'm grateful for. I learned this in my classes. I think it's two things that I'm grateful for and one person that I'm praying for. And that's really helped me to like take out of myself, you know, and not be like, oh my God, I have to do this. I have this. I have that. Oh my God, I have this and this. I'm like, okay, I'm grateful that I have this. Like, you know, a lot of people don't have these things that I have, and we tend to like take these things for granted. So I feel like everyone should have a gratitude practice as well on a daily basis, because a lot of us don't know what a lot of us are dealing with, and other people that we don't know are dealing with. So just stay grateful for what you have and where you're at, wherever you are. As Tanisha said, you know, the journey, however, is we're not perfect, but acknowledge wherever you are and the acknowledgement to grow.
Yeah.
Diamonds in the back, Natassia.
And don't take for granted the gifts, the blessings, and what is stable and secure in your life, right? That's so essential. Uh, there is the reality that we are human beings, we're multifaceted, and though we may equip ourselves to be as resilient and invincible as possible, hard times do find us. Insecurity does find us. It comes in cunning ways, and no one knows how to get into our emotional dark corners like ourselves. We can oftentimes land ourselves in an insecure, vulnerable place. Um, Maybe there are panelists in this room that just never experience that, but if you do, the question is, how do you deal with a low moment? When you're feeling it, what are your tips for getting out of it? I'm going to start with Sir Peter.
All right. So usually it happens when you're, at least for me, when I'm listening least expected, or when I don't address my feelings, or come to the place of uh, I look at myself and all the people that I have around me, even first and foremost the relationship I have with myself. So the expectations, or not expectations, because that's for me a bad thing for me to have. I think when you expect, you are bound to get disappointed when you don't, or people don't reach to that moment of, that you wanted. So for me, it's that moment when I identified why I'm feeling that way, and that took a long time and took a lot of sessions with my therapist to actually understand and to be able to find strength and vulnerability to know to go to that place that you know that you don't want to go, but you have to in order to just move on and to just to first address why I'm feeling sad or feeling that emotion, find the cause or find somebody, maybe somebody that made me feel that way, and why did I let it influence myself and my self love and my values and all of the work that I've been doing for the last 15 years probably. So when I get to that moment, when I first have why, and I first have the cause as well, and or somebody, then I can just move on into just like, okay, you're in the bad zone, you're in a bad moment. I know that insecurity and all the stuff else is coming my way. So I was like, girl, I'm sorry, I'm busy at the moment. I'm working. I'm having a nice time, having a nice day. I know you are there, but it was up to me to open the door and let you in. So that times can be harder and it's tricky, but again, we are complex human beings, and it was just like, no, enough is enough, because I think all of us here in this panel and a lot of people who are actually listening to us, we've been through a lot. We've been through a lot of hearing all of the things that I think everybody heard, and even worse. So it's up to me to be responsible for that thing. It's like acknowledge why, try to find your tools to actually help you with it. In my case, I just go to hear some music, watch some drag race to make me feel better. Because when I'm feeling down, that's when the spiral comes, and it's just like no. So I say this so an advice to everybody that's listening: acknowledge what you're feeling, but don't pay many attention to it because mostly it's always coming people throwing shit your way.
Yes, 1,000 times. Yes, yes, yes. That moment of assessment, you may not even realize it, but my God, I'm underslept. My goodness, I haven't eaten in 10 hours. My goodness, I'm constipated. What is the stress? There might also just be these other factors that are causing you to find yourself in a weakened state. Of course, it can be situational. Many times it is. It could be interpersonal. Yes, of course it is as well. But there's a long checklist you can go through to see what might be causing this and are there ways to start soothing it, right? Some of those base needs, even start there. I'm going to bring it to April. How do you deal with a low moment?
We touched on it a few minutes ago of community. So I lean heavily on my friends, my family, my chosen family, colleagues, community, also therapy. And I know who to go to for when I'm having certain things. So if it's a work challenge, I go to a colleague, or my sex worker community. If it's a more personal moment, then friends and family. For me, knowing who to ask for help has been a game changer. And if you're lucky enough to have access to therapy, and even better yet, a therapist that is sex worker friendly, at uh, yes, um, that's ideal. So yeah, that's how I need my people.
Yeah, and we need our people. And for anyone that's watching or listening to this after the fact, please do take note. If there is a time in your life that is a level of desperation that you feel truly helpless within, and perhaps there isn't available community, I really encourage you to find what the local crisis hotlines are for you because there are resources that are open 24/7, state by state, city by city. You can Google the crisis hotline for wherever you're located. And that is round the clock availability to get connected with someone just to be there with you in that moment. So, and there's also pineapple support if you're looking to pursue perhaps the start of your therapeutic journey as well. Natassia, talk to us about enduring and overcoming a low moment.
Okay, so I'm gonna tap back on what you said because I lived that moment. I was at rock bottom and I was trigger warning, at one of those moments. And I reached out to the transgender suicide hotline, which you guys don't even know how much force it takes to even make that call. And I was really disappointed because the line said that they were having too many calls and I had to call back later. So that needs to be fixed, first of all, because I couldn't even be sitting here if I, didn't find my resources and reach out to the people. But I'm a different breed. I grew up like on my own and in survival. So it's really hard and I'm working on it now to lean on other people when I'm feeling low. Like I tend to just put myself inside and try to build myself back up. And my therapist was telling me as well, like, and as Sir Pete said, it's okay to feel those emotions. And I just had a bad day before yesterday, seasonal depression and holidays. And I was like, I woke up and I'm like, wow, I'm not feeling good. I'm not feeling good. I don't feel like, I don't feel like myself. I'm not going to drag it, but I'm going to feel it. And I'm going to feel it. And I'm going to make sure that I don't let it take me to a place that I don't want to let it take me to. And I wrote it out the whole day. I sat on the couch. I watched movies. I felt, and then I was like, hey, it's not that bad. And tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow's another day. It will be a better day. But one practice is that I do, if I ever feel down or anything about myself, I'll go for a workout, of course. A run gets all those endorphins. Or as my therapist tells me to, I practice self-care practices. Like I'll do a skin mask, I'll do a bubble bath, I'll wash my wig. Like I'll do something that will, like I say before, sets me up to success and makes me feel like I'm unstoppable. And then I'm like, okay, well, it's not like really bad. I'll do my makeup and have nowhere to go. But then I look in the mirror and I'm like, okay, yes, girl, it's not the end of the world. You a pretty bad bitch. And also, yeah, when if it comes down to it, like, and I'm really in that state of need, community, 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 and mental health services.
That gentleness with yourself that comes first when you identify that there is a low feeling in you. That gentleness, was that something you found on your own? Was that something advised to you? How did that fit for you?
It was something I learned recently in therapy because I was the type of person I would take these feelings and I would run with it and I would slide down the slope so quick before I even realized that I was sliding down the slope. And so I guess I would self-deprecate because all of the traumas and all of the stereotypes and the stigmas, and I'm like, then I had to realize that, okay, I'm not this person. I'm human. Everybody has a good days. Everybody has their bad days. And it's okay for me to feel this way. You know, like everything we're never going to be perfect. And some days are better than others. And it is also having compassion with yourself as a human being that you can have a bad day, you can struggle, you can not feel, you can be sad, but and feel that because one thing as humans and people in general, we don't like to feel that emotion and we run from it and we try to hide it with drugs and alcohol. Those are okay feelings. And the more you learn how to self-regulate those feelings, the more when they come, you're like, I got this, girl. Like yesterday, I would have been like 2 days out, 3 days out. You know what I mean? Don't talk to anybody, don't want to see anybody. I wrote it off for one day and I'm back.
And she's back. Sir Peter, I see your hand.
Yes, I just want to say something in case I run out of time. I say this to a lot of people, and that's why um, I'm in this moment to be very vocal and present in social media about my journey and my health, mentally, physically, and emotionally. I just want to say this to the people that are hearing us, and I know that there are times I should not do it or give my number to just people that I don't know or I'm meeting for the first time, but still reach for or saying that they saw something I did or something that I thought or like here, and they decided to reach out to help just to talk. And I just want to say, like, if you have my number, please know that you are more than like, please rest, text, call, because just like them, I'm too. I have those people that I can talk, that I need to talk, and it's just I think like we all said, the exchange in community and to just know that I'm not the only one feeling that way and what you're feeling. I probably felt it, and that's why I'm here. And I just want to spread that word. Like, please reach out to me, to somebody that has any of us. I think that we are passionate people, and we've just been through a lot, so we know a little bit more or advice, not to feeling all of those things. And I think that's important for people to know.
Thank you so much for that. The power of knowing you're not alone in that feeling. Tanisha, I see your hand.
Yes, I had wanted to say, going back to what Nastasia was saying, and even you, Laura, I was a crisis therapist for the suicide hotline, for 5 years. And so I myself have been a part of 18 live suicides, and live meaning is actually happening, at that moment when they call, and so you can dial 988. You should be able to get, based on your area code, it should route you to the center that is closest to you, if not in your state. But the number, nationally is still 1-800-273-TALK. You can still dial that number. But mental health is really, really important. And I know for me, music soothes the savage beast. It does something inside, gets me going. And it's like when I'm in a in a low spot, it's like, let me, going back to the 3 Ps, don't push me, don't presume what you think I'm going through, and for myself, don't pretend that you're okay when you're really not. And so being there and just feeling those feelings and working it all the way through music, and maybe sometimes through a glass of wine, doing those different things. But you got to do what's best for you in that moment, because the whole ideal is the more you continue to go through it, because you will, because it's life, that you'll be able to get through it a little bit easier, a little bit lighter, and a little bit better. Like what would take you 3 days only takes you 1 day to get through. You're like, "Ooh, that was quick." So glad that's over, because it would have took a week and maybe I wouldn't have bathed. And I always say this to every client every single time we're on the phone. You know, when we're going through things, we forget some of our basic human needs, which is, did you eat? Did you bathe? Did you take your meds? And did you rest? Those 4 things will do a world of good for you no matter how you're feeling. So that's all I wanted to say on that. That's why my hand's raised.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. Thank you for those numbers as well. Thank you for actually just speaking them to this video chat. Doc, is there anything to add? Some ideas for a quick fix when you're feeling low, if there is such a thing?
Yeah, I take my ass to sleep because some friends a long time ago were like, just shut it down. Just shut it down. So I pull up the covers, I hug on soft things, and I go to sleep. I write, extensively. I'll write some poetry. I get into some somatic practices. So there's a practice of safe havening and also tapping, which helped me to get like out of my head and into the stuff and back into my body. Look at getting the oils going, the candles, the incense, and just doing everything I can to shift that space. Engage in some herbal medicine if needed. Whatever those herbs are, including, the Bach flower remedies, or as Cat Williams say, things that just grow in the ground and you happen to burn them at, whatever that is. And then, the music and the movies. Specifically, like I love the old movie And Affair to Remember and Original Sin. And especially when I put on Original Sin, I was like, I know I can make it in this life. I bought a hat today. And for those of you who've seen it, you know what I mean. And then finally, over the course of several years of being in this work, I have an accumulation of affirmation bags. So if I'm feeling really, really low or feeling the social stigma or that people are coming for me, I reach deep in that bag and pull some things out. And it's a blessing to me every time to know that even when I feel terrible about myself, people still see the best in me when everyone else around me could only see the worst in me. I'm a preacher, y'all. Okay, I'm done.
Doc, thank you so much. Audience, this is your opportunity. If you do have any questions to submit, any final statements, anything that you want to make known to the entirety of this Zoom room, please do use this time for that now. It's just, I'm coming back to emotional. It's emotional to have such immense, loving, and vulnerable conversations with everyone. It's been a week of this, and feeling very grateful for every one of our panelists that has come through to join for this summit, all of our experts with their presentations that have been lampposts along the road to wellness and to bettering our mental health. Thank you for that. I'm going to have everyone sign off in a unique and fun way, because that's the name of the game today. What I would love is for our panelists to let us know one thing they're grateful for today. And then, of course, where to find them online. If you have a website or a home base, whatever it is, now's the time. And I'll start with April.
Okay, so I'm grateful. I'm grateful today for I'm at home, I'm in LA visiting my family. I recently got acquainted with my niece that I had been estranged for 7 years. So from her age 13 to 20, we didn't speak, but now we're reunited. I saw her the day I landed. I saw her last night. I'm gonna see her tonight, and it's just like a rush of like gratitude and prayers answered, and just like tears of happiness. So that is forefront in my mind of gratitude.
And where do we find you, April?
Oh, sorry. Find me on Instagram, the April Flores, THEE April Flores. Uh, X, Twitter, I don't really use that. The April Flores, the Blue Sky, April Flores, OnlyFans, the April Flores. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here, April. We love you. Sir Peter, what are you grateful for and where can we find you?
So you can find me just type Sir Peter. You'll find my website and my socials, Sir Peter. I usually think, I like to think or joke. There's only one, that's me, that's Sir Peter, there's nobody else. But actually, today I'm very thankful and very grateful to actually be able to just say that I just come from a trip. I just got home and just signed in for this amazing invitation, and to be thankful to all of you for sharing your time, your experience with me and with the audience. I think that's for me immensely valuable to me to have. But I would like to be grateful, not to say great to feel like they made me feel yesterday and today like I deserve of love and I can be loved for who I am and I can love and reciprocate that love back. That's what I'm one of the things that I feel most grateful. And again, thank you for everyone. I think it's an honor for me to share this moment with you guys.
Thank you, Sir Peter. Natassia, we're putting into practice your gratitude activity. So please, what can you share with us?
So I would say for today, I'm thankful for growth because it's been a rough journey and I'm glad to notice like I'm here and I don't let things affect me and challenges and I'm putting in the work. So I'm really have to be thankful for my growth and being able to see it and self-realize. And where you can find me is I'm on Instagram for now. Miss Dreams is back. Pornhub, of course, Natassia Dreams as ambassador. Um, X Natassia Dreams X, OnlyFans Natassia Dreams Land. And yeah, I mean, you'll find me in billboards, movies, campaigns, everywhere, baby. You can't miss me anymore, honey.
Roll out the red carpet. Miss Natassia, I love it. Tanisha, we would love a farewell and gratitude.
I am very grateful for family. And if anyone needed to reach me, I'm at Tanisha. It's Tanisha at orangeoasishealing.com.
Thank you so much. And once again, thank you for the presentation today. Doc, continued thanks to you as well. Please do let us know where to reach you and your gratitude.
Yeah, I am grateful for the bravery of admitting brokenness because it allows the healing of kintsugi to soothe my soul. You can find me at orangeoasishealing.com and lamccrae.com. Thanks so much for inviting us and allowing us to be a part of this.
Oh, it's a beautiful feeling to be left with hearing all of these. Gratitude on my end. You know, it's been 4 days of virtually no noise interference. I don't know how this happened. I have muted myself in moments that others were speaking and sirens passed. Once they were out of audio range, I spoke again. In some way, the universe wanted this to be the experience where everyone is heard and everyone is able to speak. It was it's an overwhelming feeling and just very full of community. Very full of community. So thank you, everyone. If you want to get in touch with me, it's at theLauraDesiree.com. Pineapple Support, all of our love and thanks for putting together such a passionate and effective summit this year. Our sponsors, of course, thank you so much for keeping this resource available. And our audience, thank you for attending. You have also been so brave, so vulnerable, so interactive, and that does not go lost on us 1 second. We're wishing you all happy holidays, a fantastic start to the new year, and those of us getting into convention season this January, I can't wait for those hugs. I'll see you all. Everyone, you take care of yourselves. Thank you for attending the 2024 Pineapple Support Mental Health Summit. Till next year.